Willkommen, welcome. This is Tubingen, one of Germany's most famous university cities. This is a university with rich traditions and great history. And for tourists and visitors to Germany, probably one of the two most famous universities, along with Heidelberg. This isn't just because they're prestigious, but certainly because of their stunning settings. So today, we're going to discover Tubingen, find out a little bit about the university and whether it does compare to Cambridge, Oxford and Harvard.
And wait till later to find out why some students used to suffer fierce facial scars.
From 1667 to 1810, in the building behind me, Johann Friedrich Cotter ran the most important publishing house in Germany. In fact, it was known as the Napoleon of publishing and bookstores. So it's not surprising that Tübingen University has an important role in German literary history as well. For example, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe actually stayed in this building, and Hermann Hesse set some of his beautiful work here as well in Tübingen. But it's good that there's a sense of humour generally, because even great writers can have another side. And traditionally there was a plaque here, which I can't actually find, but we said this is where Goethe threw up, presumably after a good night out on the town. This is now a shop which buys gold. Well, in the literary world, there's no doubt that Goethe's work is the gold standard. Now we're in the heart of the old town, and it's full of half-timbered buildings, beautiful cafes, lovely churches, and above all, there's a feeling of there being so many young people around, typical like cities like Cambridge and Oxford, which are overwhelmingly full of young people. I tell you what, for someone over 40 like me, it makes you feel young again. You're not going to believe that, are you? Now we're on the main market square in all its glory, which I'm going to reveal slowly. Pan up. Wow, just look at that. What stunning architecture.
What do I see here? Punts, just like Cambridge or Oxford. Meet Mike, originally from South Africa and supervising the punts on the River Neckar.
Started actually since 1910. They dammed the river, and since then it's been possible to also take rides other than with floods. The students that live here or study here have also always already, in those days it was more difficult to move backwards and forwards, but they've also been to Oxford and Cambridge and Spreewald, and they also came from all over, and that's where they had already the inspiration.
This is one of Germany's most famous universities. Do you think it compares to Cambridge and Oxford?
Well, let's put it this way. Tübingen is also very well known for its medicine, so the university itself has got a boost from that. So therefore, I'd say yes. Well, I don't know from the age, how old is Oxford, Cambridge?
A little older.
Yeah, so therefore they've got more. And England is actually the way I think I know it, is Germany is inspired more from that side.
Finally, we've made it from the old town to the imposing buildings of Tübingen University. And here we meet an enthusiastic student, Leon.
I love Tübingen as a city, but also as a university city. It's a great university. We have very high standards for academia, and we are at the top of the universities in Germany.
Are Tübingen and Heidelberg the elite universities of Germany?
When it comes to medicine, for sure. But if you want to go for mechanical engineering or something, you should go to Munich. We have a lot very good universities, and some of them you could call elite, and Tübingen is one of them.
But lots of elite universities?
Yes, at least 10. I know that you have to pay a lot of money for studying in Great Britain, and in Germany it's quite cheap. We pay 300 to 400 euros per semester, and that's fair, I would say. That's very cool. So everybody gets the same chance.
Hello.
Hi.
So your name is?
Vasi.
And what do you study here?
Interdisciplinary American Studies.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
It is.
Do you enjoy being at Tübingen University?
I do really enjoy it, yes.
What do you enjoy about Tübingen University?
I just like that there's a lot of students, there's a lot of good food, coffee spots, and it's really open, you feel welcome, you're not scared. It's just, yeah, I really like it here.
Okay, and Tubingen and Heidelberg are the two most famous universities for foreigners.
Yes.
Do you think that this is an elite university?
I actually really don't know. It could be, but I don't think we really have this status in Germany where we say this is an elite study university or not. So this is not an often used term here.
So, straight to the point, Burschenschaften. Tubingen University has been here since 1477, so it has over 5 centuries of tradition and history, and the student fraternities have played a major role in that regard. Since the mid-19th century, fencing duels have been particularly popular. And in these groups, basically chairpeople would choose 2 students to fight each other in controlled circumstances, just a few steps from each other. And they would all be wearing protective gear, but they would be aiming with fencing swords at each other's faces. It might sound brutal, but actually it's supposed to signify brotherhood and also values of personal strength, honour and courage. In fact, many students tried to get as many cuts as they possibly could, and people who weren't involved in the Burschenschaften would sometimes cut themselves with razors to give themselves a better chance to get on in life. Now, unbelievably, this was actually banned by the Nazis, and the reason they stopped this practice was because it was particularly associated with the aristocracy, and they were concerned that this could represent a threat to Nazi rule. It's still popular today in terms of these groupings, and they exist. There's at least 37 of them here in Tubingen today. Certainly it's a long tradition, and for some people it's barbaric, but others view it as a symbol of honour.
Both Leon, the medical student, and Mike, the punt operator, have very clear opinions too.
As a traditional university city, Tübingen has also a lot of fraternities, and I like them, to be honest. I think there used to be over 40, now we have 36 active fraternities, and I like them. I'm not a member of a fraternity, but they hold up traditional values, old values you could say, and yeah, that's what I like. It's community based, so you stand together and fight together, you go to the highs and lows together.
You're a medical student?
Yes.
So have you had to mend a lot of scars on people's faces?
No, never. I don't think that's a thing anymore, but they're cool. We have good parties.
They still fight each other with swords and scar each other?
We actually have 15 houses that still do that.
Have you ever seen any students with scars?
Yes, you do. But in Tubingen you won't get to see so many because we have the medical here and the hospitals, and we do have Schönheitschirurgie. And
you mean they stitched them up?
Yes, that's why if we look at the students here, they're not allowed to fence below the ears. In this side, only upwards. So therefore you won't see it very much, these scars.
Okay. Now in Britain we have many good universities, but I think everyone would recognise that Oxford and Cambridge are in a league of their own. If you look at the QS Global University rankings, they place Tübingen University in 225th position, which is highly respectable, but I think it underlines this point. And with also the fact that tuition fees are much lower in Germany, you can see that this gives opportunity at a price that won't bankrupt students. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our visit to Tübingen. If so, please like the video, subscribe and ding the bell for notifications. It helps me grow this brand new YouTube channel. Dankeschön aus Tübingen. Thank you and see you soon.